and perimeter of circle. This particular program is also an example for how to use hash define, that is macro definition. So the problem statement associated with this program is to find area and perimeter of circle. The rest of all the comment lines, it will be common for all the programs. As I don't want to take more time, just the standard way you please understand, we need to give the developer name, organization. Next we need to also give the contact details and the location from where you are working with this program. Next, we know as part of our C code we have link section. In link section we have hash include stdio.h, which is nothing but standard input output header file, and now we are going to see how to use this define section. Hash define. Now I want to use this pi value as 3.14. so we all know that the area and perimeter of circle is 2 pi r and area of circle is pi r square. Now this pi value is needed to evaluate the expression, and we need to get the exact result according to the input given with radius. Now let us look into this program in main, and just here pi is nothing but it's a macro name. Please do remember, whenever we are going to write a macro name, that macro name should be written in the uppercase. So it gives us a clear picture or clear understanding that this is a macro name. So please try to remember, a macro name every time it should be written in the uppercase. Just give a space, no equal to sign or nothing. Macro name followed by the value substituted for this macro name. And sometimes we also call it as a defined constant or a macro name. Now here I am going to initialize some variables. Int radius. Now we need to remember the very important thing. Whenever we are giving a integer value and we are also giving a float value, that is addition of 5 is 5 with 5.5, that is 5 is an integer, 5.5 is a float value. The addition of integer plus float will result float value. The addition of float and float will give the float value. The addition of integer and integer will give the integer value. So here we are multiplying. Whenever I say pi r square and 2 pi r, definitely we are multiplying integer value with float value, which means the conclusion will be float. So this is how we need to analyze whenever we are using identifier names. Now float, I'll take area and perimeter. So these two are the values what we are going to store as part of float. Now we all know that printf, it is an output stream. Enter the radius of circle. Scanf. Now we need to read the radius. As the radius is integer, I am specifying the format specifier as %d. Address of radius, location where I want to store this value. Next, now we need to write the actual logic. Actual logic is nothing but the formula for area of circle. The formula for area of circle is pi r square. So now instead of writing 3.14, we can directly use this pi, because we have initialized in the define constant, or we have given a macro name here in the place of pi, that is 3.14. So whenever we are using this macro name, instead of this macro name, the value of 3.14 will be substituted in a given expression. Pi r square. So how we need to write r square? There are two ways of writing r square. One way you can write with the help of power function. The other way is you can write with the help of just multiplying r with r. Pi star radius, that is radius star radius. So this is the one way of writing. Area is equal to pi r square. And the other way of writing, you can write like this. Area is equal to, just I am specifying in a comment line. Next time I'll run the both cases when I am executing. Just pi r square. Now we have a inbuilt function power. So power of what is the base? Here base is nothing but radius, and radius raised to the power of 2, that is we need to give the power. So the syntax of power function is power of, this is base and this is power. Now for example, if I say power of 2 comma 3, power of 2 comma 3, which is nothing but 2 is the base and the power is 3. What is 2 to the power of 3 is 8. Provided whenever we want to use this power function, there is also one more library or the header file which we need to include is math.h. So math.h is the header file which is needed whenever we are using power function. Right? As of now I am not using this because I have commented this particular statement. Whenever I am executing, I will execute by removing these comment lines. As of now you just see the conventional way, the simple way how we need to get the area, that is pi into radius into radius. The next one is perimeter. Perimeter equal to, now what is the perimeter of circle? 2 pi r. 2 star, what is the pi? Pi is nothing but it's a macro name, radius, 2 pi r. So this is how we can get the area and perimeter. Now once we evaluate this result, the next step is we need to display to the end user. Once we have done the logic, the next step is we need to execute the output and it should be printed on the screen. Printf, the area of circle is. So how we are going to get the result? Area is a float variable, or area is a identifier which is specified with float data type. So for float data type, the format specifier is %f. The format specifier for float is %f, followed by we need to give the identifier name. Printf, the perimeter of circle is. Now here perimeter is also given with %f, perimeter. This is how we are going to print the area and perimeter. Now let us execute the output. Let me run this. So here we need to choose a language. Now you can see here in the console, if you can see here clearly, now I didn't specify any /n, enter the radius of circle. I didn't put any /n. That is the reason the input is taken only beside of this particular line. Now let me give this a radius as 5. Radius is 5. As soon as I enter, see I am getting the area of circle and the perimeter of circle. All together I am getting in a single line, because intentionally I have not used /n, just to make you clear understanding that please try to use a /n for every printf statement, so that you may get the output in a line by line. Now let me just change this code with /n. This is an escape sequence which gives the output or the content line by line. So this is how I am giving the /n. Now let us execute once again. Just let me test with another text test case as, let me give the radius as 2 Now you can see the area of circle is and the perimeter of circle is. In the earlier case, we have experienced that enter the radius of circle we got only beside of this. Now whenever I used /n, now the input was reading over here, right? Next, the perimeter of circle you are getting in the next line because we have used /n, new line. Now let me execute the same code. Just you can remember this particular value 12.56 and 12.56. So you can see this area and perimeters. You can just remember. Let me execute the code with the help of math function, math library. Now let me comment this and let me uncomment this statement. Area is equal to pi into power of radius comma 2. Now let me execute this code. Let me give the radius value as 2. Still we are getting the same answer whatever we have got earlier. So this is how the math library or the math header file, which is taking this power function and it is also giving us the same result. So this is how we can find the area and perimeter of circle. And here we have also seen the usage of macro, that is hash define, and we have also seen the another header file called math.h. Still corresponding to this math.h we have many mathematical functions, so we will be seeing one by one in the later coming programs. So this is how we can get the area and perimeter of circle. Thank you.